Good afternoon, everyone. This is Phil Higgins speaking in regards to the Board of Condemnation Blight meeting. Today is Monday, June 20th. The time now is 2:02 p.m. First, if we may I ask who's on the line?
Well, one guess. Greg Miller.
Hello, Mr. Miller. How are you, sir?
Good, sir. How are you?
Very well, thank you. So, a call to order. Myself, Mr. Sands Cleary, and Andrea Flynn are in the meeting. Today, Mr. Sean Reed, building official, is currently absent. So, do I have an approval of minutes for May 16th?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
All right, I guess I'll be making those seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll make a motion to waive the typical order of the agenda and address the property in question for the person in attendance.
I'm going to second that. All in favor? Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Miller, are you there?
Oh, I'm here. I'm not a defendant, though.
Okay, well, just with 20 Morehouse, we have had contact with the owner. He has resumed progress on the property. He's finished portions of the siding. He's working on the front porch with some masonry work. He's about, 70% of the way
80%, yep.
of the way there with that. I talked to him today, and he's there were evidence that he was working on the debris in the side yard to reduce that, and indicated that he will continue to do that and is working his best to get this resolved as soon as he can.
And I would agree. I also stopped by, saw the exact same work mentioned, and there's definitely forward progress happening at 20 Morehouse. So, okay.
So is he still being fined?
Yes, he is. Yes, they are.
Okay, thank you.
Very welcome. Back to the regular schedule. Communications.
I have none other than the items on the agenda.
Okay. Let's see here. Number 4, condemnation, old business, 284 Berkeley. I have not seen anything come forward in regards to...
I had a conversation with the current owner of the property, who indicated that, he's selling the property, it's up for sale, he's trying to unload it, he does not plan to do any additional work. I advised him that, while the property is stable now, that work is still required, and that the board will consider whether we move to a citation to compel the additional work to be performed.
Okay.
But that would be, the citation wouldn't be under condemnation, so we'd have to address that under the,
Okay.
under the other.
Second agenda item is number 92 Grassmere. I have just had a discussion with the owner at that location, who has once again mentioned that he has several contracts before him in regards to the possible sale of his properties. I've advised him of the current condition, the rear of the structure being open, the roof being opened, and right now the yard is, pretty overgrown. So he has indicated that he would like to be here at the next meeting. I said, you are absolutely, more than welcome to join us. He mentioned that in the next couple of weeks he will be looking aggressively for possible buyers.
Okay. I'm going to recommend that we take some steps to consider having a structural engineer look at the property to determine if the town should take action now that the roof is kind of opened. I think something's happened, a change, and so I'm going to ask Sean. Sean has the funding for that, to see if and basically have a discussion with Sean about if it warrants having a structural engineer make an assessment of the dwelling and potentially get in touch with the owner to make that assessment, a good assessment, so that just to determine, none of us have seen the interior of that dwelling, have any idea what's happening inside. I mean, there's no, to my eyes, no sagging of the roof, no things that appear collapsing I have questioned about the second floor porch, where that upstairs there had some damage there.
I don't know if you can access the stairs because of the damage for the wooden staircase in the.
Yeah, but I'm saying up at the top on the inside,
right.
At some point there was some damage up there, and I don't know what state that's in, but I think it warrants having a requesting Sean to see if a structural engineer can go out and if necessary, take the steps to consider demolishing the property or making the necessary repairs under condemnation, which we have the right to do.
Okay.
So I'll just put that out there and I'll have a talk with Sean about it.
Okay. All right. Nothing else on condemnation. New business, actually. 486 Riverside Drive.
I did not see that till now.
Yeah. Under condemnation.
Was there a particular thing on this, Andrea, do you recall, or a complaint that came in? I don't recall seeing a complaint. All right, well, maybe we can come back to it.
Okay.
It doesn't ring a bell with me.
Same here. Number 6, blight ordinance, old business, 15 Beacon View Drive.
I did have communication with the owner who's hopes to have the building permit in hand by the deadline the hearing officer put in place at the appeal hearing. So he hopes to have that. I think he has till the end of the month to do that. Was that the date?
Yeah.
June 30th?
By the 30th.
Yeah. So he's got 10 days to do that. He seemed to indicate that he should have it in hand by then. So, but no work has happened there.
Okay. So table this pretty much. We have to table this.
Yep. We've cited him. He knows he's got to start to get the building permit and start the work.
Okay. 53 Beacon View Drive.
I did go out and do an inspection today. I met with the homeowner. Did you too? Or?
Last month, I believe.
Okay, so, yep. So they've made some progress. They removed some lawnmowers, some sinks, some toilets that were outside of the lawn. So it's progress. I would say carry it over another month. They're making making progress. I'll put it.
Okay. 284 Berkeley. We've already discussed.
Yeah, I mean I think we have to move at some point move to citation because we just can't let it sit in the current state. It's stable. It's not a condemnation risk anymore.
Right.
But it needs to move that way. So I don't know. I'm open to discuss it, whether we feel like we should proceed now with that.
I will make the motion. I'll make the motion that we move forward on this property.
I'm gonna have to check on the date it was sent, the termination notice was sent, because we had to resend it.
Okay.
That's the only technicality I think there might be with.
Oh, that he's within the compliance period of
that we just sent it
Okay.
a couple of weeks ago, like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay, so let's then if that's the case, if he hasn't had the official 30-day period, then maybe I'll suggest you withdraw your motion
I will respectfully withdraw my
and wait till next month
and table that for 1 month. Okay, so 92 Grassmere, we've just discussed, and he's currently being fined $100 per day.
Condemnation board. Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Any discussion on this matter, 92 Grassmere still?
I think the same that we had before.
Yes. Okay, I am going to just stop for a moment and welcome our guest who just walked in. Oh, no, welcome, how are you? If you could, for the record, just if you can, identify yourself.
Certainly. Ann Sandler, a neighbor of 447 Strathfield Road.
Sure.
Hello, Ann, how are you? So, okay, going back to regular business, 166 Grassmere Avenue.
I'll make a motion to remove it from the agenda for compliance.
I would second that.
Okay.
So, any discussion or just right to vote?
It it doesn't resolve the citation issue. It just resolves that he's complied with the blight order, and
There's definitely compliance.
there's compliance, on that.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
20 Morehouse, we already talked about. Number 7, 1180 Oldfield.
I spoke with the real estate agent, and it's hung up in probate right now.
Mhm.
The owner passed away, and so no significant changes there. You know, it's just nothing substantial in the way of blight there. It's, the property's secured, and,
This is not a property that's currently being
No.
mined, correct?
No.
Okay. So we just leave it on until the transfer?
I would leave it on until the transfer and have them clean up the yard.
Number 8, 1262 Post Road.
I'll make a motion to remove this from the agenda.
I will second that.
This property had graffiti on the side of it, and it was removed by the owners of the property.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Number 9, 447 Stratfield Road.
So the 447 Stratfield Road, for your interest, is, you know, the property was being fined. The property was sold. The fine had been paid to the town, and the new owner is aware of the issues there and is working to address those as soon as possible. They're proceeding with a building permit and hope to have that addressed as a part of that. They understand that if they don't proceed quickly, that we will reissue blight orders to them, and I believe the town attorney has an agreement with them that they are expected to initiate the work quickly. So, and if
Thank you.
Mr. Sean was here, Reed was here, he could see if they've actually pulled the building.
Pulled the permit.
I've already talked to the new owner, I think 2 times, about what's expected and hopes to proceed quickly.
Thank you. I'm sorry for my late arrival. We had noticed the sign was gone. So I looked at the past month's minutes just today, and I saw that there was any development.
Yep.
So I came to update with
Yep.
the neighbors. So it actually has been purchased.
Actually has been purchased to someone who's a local developer. You know, it buys houses and renovates them, or lots and renovates them. And so we've dealt with that individual before on this board, buying other properties that are in, you know, distress, if you will. And so those communications, that new owner has indicated, yep, we hope to move real quickly on it. So
Is the name of the owner confidential, or is that something of public record?
it is probably public record. I just don't know it at this point off the top of my head.
I looked at realty listings, and I didn't see it listed, so I didn't know what.
Yeah, it was a negotiation between the bank eventually took over the property and then made the transfer. So it was you know, owned by, it was foreclosed upon by the bank.
Okay, so I can probably find that information with the city.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Sure.
I'm going to depart as quickly as I can.
That's all right.
Thank you in peace.
All right,
I thank you so much for
Good
your
seeing you.
courtesy and for the update.
Thank you very much. Number 10, 280 Tuckahoe.
No change since the last time I was
No
out there.
change.
Remains to be fined.
Only change is that the land, the grass and the weeds. I actually went by there today, and I'm so used to pulling alongside it because you're just, inspecting it. I drove right by it today for the first time because I didn't even see it. So, but the homeowner, the property owner, is aware that he'll need to do some exterior work, and he says yes, he will be doing that soon.
Okay.
So number 11, 146 Wheeler Park. Again, I drove by there today. Yep. No change.
No change. So it just remains like I before we move to secure the property, I need to talk to the town attorney because it's like it would be. I don't think I could personally do it. I think it's we need somebody to like drill into masonry, and we would have to cause damage to what appears like a brand new garage door. So I don't know if there's another way to secure it, but I figure maybe we can have Sean come up with a solution that secures the property, because the owners are non-responsive to any mailings or anything we send them. phone calls that we've attempted. And so I think the best bet is to secure the property ourselves.
I would agree.
So, just comes down to
okay.
what's the best way without causing damage to the property.
Okay. So, hearing that, no additional old business blight. If we move on to new business blight, 750 Post Road, Joe's American.
Yep. So I think, it obviously meets the criteria. We have Mr. Barnhart here he can represent his discussions with the owner. Upon receiving the complaint, he made contact with the owner to try and make improvements. I would suggest, well, based upon the conversations, I haven't seen any activities there, that we would consider having a hearing at next month's meeting, where we'd make a determination, and that gives them an additional month to take action. So, Mark?
Perfect timing, sir.
Yeah, I think that would be appropriate. I talked to the owner several times. My understanding from our most recent conversation is he's planning to submit a building permit shortly. I was under the impression it would be a matter of a few weeks, within the next couple of weeks, to do some improvements to the exterior facade.
Okay.
And the point was to make it suitable for a future tenant. So, but he hasn't done that as of yet.
Okay.
I talked to him. He did finally cut the grass. And he hasn't re-wrapped the sign, which is another thing I asked him to do.
Yeah.
It's fairly straightforward. So I do expect him to make an application for a building permit, but it did indicate that the Blight Committee was meeting this week.
Yep.
On the 20th, and that would likely result in notice of a violation, and, that would put him on the clock. So I think that would be...
All right, so that would give him,
Certainly.
we'd have the hearing next month, and after that, we would send a letter for 30
Hopefully
days.
by that point, you would see some discernible progress.
Okay.
And I can certainly call him and say, hey, I was at the meeting, and this is what's likely going to happen. You'll be summoned to a hearing next month. Hopefully, you'll have some better news to report.
With that, shall we make determination then?
No, we don't make a
Oh, we
determination
don't. I'm
now.
sorry.
We do it next month at the hearing.
Next month, should we send
We'll send them
documentation?
a hearing notice.
Next month?
Yep.
Okay. All right, next order of
Any other
business.
commercial ones?
I don't.
I think that's it.
Okay. 801 didn't make your list yet?
No, I mean, it just has overgrowth, so that
Yeah,
really doesn't fall under the blight.
Yeah, 801 has across the street, the old garage, and they have actually submitted a revised compliance application to planning and zoning.
Okay.
That hopefully meets the conditions set by the commission. It'll hopefully be on the next docket on the 28th of June for approval, in which case then they would.
Okay. The same proposed tenant as before?
Meets the code, yeah.
Okay,
So
great.
they're hoping to make the modifications and live within the conditions that the commission proposed. So we've been waiting for that, but hopefully that'll be, I don't know if you're getting calls from one of the abutting property owners, but,
Should we,
sorry.
call this discussion out of order only because that particular property is not on the agenda?
You don't have to put this.
A complaint came
I'm
in.
reporting to you.
A complaint came in.
Oh, okay.
But it just doesn't meet the criteria it's only about overgrowth, and shortly after the complaint came in, the owner trimmed some stuff, but didn't do a great job. So it just didn't rise to the level of even being added to the agenda.
Okay. All right.
Just for information.
More for informational
Yeah.
purposes, huh?
But the complaint made at the same time as the Joe's American complaint, or the 750 Post Road complaint.
Okay.
That's all the commercial pieces?
That's it.
Okay.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Is there anything on the Wisniewski, front?
So we have
Or is it
discussed that, going back on the agenda, he'll most likely be in next month. He has possible purchasers for some of his properties, so.
Are you having it on a hearing for next month, or?
No, he's currently being fined as it is, so, just trying to reach out to him to find out
Okay.
where he is with his property. He mentioned that, so.
All right, cool.
All right, thank you,
All right.
sir.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
260 Shetland was a new one.
Yep. I would make a motion that has a couple boarded up windows and doors, so like it meets the criteria, so, I mean, I think that's the only thing that it meets it for.
Does it meet, so this is gonna be my question, does it meet the definition if it has been boarded up and secured? Because I walked the property and everything, there's no broken windows, there's nothing, everything seemed to be locked and secured.
Yeah. So historically, what we've done, if you board up windows and doors with like bare wood, then it meets the criteria for blight. If you paint it to look like a part of the structure, because anybody at any time can put a piece of plywood over the window and paint over it and say, I don't want a window here anymore. And so, that's what we've, what we've allowed in the past. So I would say that the bare wood there does meet the blight definition. That with some of those windows, I get they're trying to make the property secure, and so I think that if they're doing that, it shouldn't stand out like that. It would be my opinion. My suggestion would be we contact the owner, let the individual know about that it meets the criteria, make some suggestions, but send a hearing notice for next month.
Okay.
And hopefully they'll take care of it prior to
Okay.
that. But I don't think any of the other things that they mentioned, overgrowth down by the storm drain, significantly deteriorated siding. I mean, it's old, but it's not damaged or falling off or,
The landscaping, when I went by there, it looked like it was just recently taken
grass is
care of.
mowed and, so it's the only thing that meets the criteria for me is those boarded up windows. Multiple broken, missing boarded up windows and doors. So.
Okay, all right.
So are we sending in a hearing?
Yeah.
Hearing notice for next month, yeah.
Got it.
That's fair. 799 Roland.
So my understanding is they have an active permit now.
Yeah.
So they had started some work there. The other issues that were mentioned in the complaint in terms of the CRO, we would address that, and our understanding is that they've had certificates of rental occupancy there. They make various vague allegations about lead and asbestos and rot and mold, and but no signs of any asbestos siding on there. They're just doing a siding job from what it appears right now. So if there's nothing, I don't think it meets the criteria for blight right now, because it's basically they have a building permit now and are actively working on it.
I would agree with you.
Okay.
So, shall we make a motion to remove?
Well, that it doesn't rise to the criteria
Right.
to be considered blight at this point, given that all they're doing is residing. It appears that they're residing the house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And number 4, 130 Birchwood Drive. I went by there again today. Well, not again, the first time today. I saw a house that appears to be, demos painted on it, and the electrical has been removed.
I did leave a message for the attorney that represents the group that owns the property to get an update on what's going on, but the complaint alleges that spray paint has been there for over a year.
Oh.
And so that kind of does meet the blight criteria.
Okay.
Also, the garage, the front door, the side door are all openable, not secured. There's windows open, but they have screens in front of them, but they're like open. So, I think it, from an unsecured standpoint, meets the criteria, and the demo spray paint, if you're not gonna demo it,
Right.
You gotta get rid of that.
I've also reached out
Tagging.
to the building to see if they had any paperwork, demolition permits or anything, and they did not.
Yeah.
So
So I think the same thing, we'll send a hearing notice, and, for next month, and have them, secure the property at least. And, securing the property and painting over the demo would take care of it.
or demo.
or demo the property, which, you know, I don't know, there's for some reason they're not.
Okay.
There's also, I guess, an issue with the pool in the back, like there's trees growing out of it.
I did not even see a pool.
I did not see a pool.
I walked around the whole thing.
Hmm.
Let me see.
I know, Melissa was there, I think there is a pool in the back, just to.
Okay.
All right, so there's no,
This is the pool, actually. You see the cover on the far left.
Oh. I only walked around the structure where it was very clean, but,
I did not notice pool, so I will take a look at that, but the pool issue is something that we would deal with. Doesn't really fall under blight. So, okay. Well, I think it warrants a hearing for next month, okay?
all right. Hearing nothing else. Anyone else on the line? Anyone else in the meeting? Nope, hearing none. Sands, anything?
Nothing?
Yeah.
Okay. Then the time is now 2:28. Do we have a meeting?
Motion to adjourn?
I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very
Okay.
much.